Say hello, Buzz. Oh, say hello. It's babies. Oh my gosh, she heard my baby voice. She's like, I want in on the action. Be careful with my coffee. Be careful with my coffee. Be careful with my coffee. You sit. Boy. Boy. You want to be in the video? You can be in the video too. This is Apollo. This is Creed. That's Luna. And this is my first YouTube official The Modern Charm YouTube video. I'm just gonna say some ideas that I have about marriage, relationship, mostly for now, for me, relationship, because I've never been married. So I can't really speak on it. However, I definitely can project because I'm like always looking in the future. I'm first and foremost, one of the things I realized about our digital economy and becoming like digital is that I realize I'm like 95% of the time in my mind living in the future more than I am living in the present. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. However, I do think it's an important thing to acknowledge that is a state of being that I have been being in for a very, very long time. So with a lot of I'm not really doing research, but a lot of the information that has come my way that I've gravitated towards diving deeper and learning more about it, I've come to a few solutions to some of the communication barriers I feel couples have. And I think one of the main communication barriers is first and foremost understanding yourself. And I'm watching the Modern Wisdom podcast with this gentleman, Brian Johnson. And I think this particular episode changed my life because he said something that was super important about his going to sleep routine, which is like he has mental meetings with himself after unplugging with his phone. He will be like, ambitious Brian, has these ideas, and social Brian messed up with these interactions, and optimizing Brian could have done better as far as like health benefits and stuff. So he has these mental check-ins with himself before he goes to bed. And I think understanding that about yourself is important, but I think I want to take it a little bit further, and I would say that you can have these mental check-ins with yourself as a basis of how you're going to do a check-in with your partner. So I got this idea. I don't know how I would actually go about in a physical sense. Excuse me, living with somebody under the same roof, but we do talk to ourselves. We do have these like mental communications with ourselves on a weekly basis. That's so important, I think, to share with your partner, because you don't want to always be by yourself. I think this is why people feel alone in relationships, because it's like, I want to tell you, but like, I don't want to go out of my way to tell you what's going on in my head, if you know what I mean. And so what I realized was like digital orbiting is that like dating online is that like I'll post a story with my thoughts. Indirectly, I want my romantic interest to see it, because I value him knowing about what goes on in my head, but I don't want to like in person have to do it, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to think of ways, I'm trying to engineer a way that I could do that in a marriage setting, in a household setting, because I love the idea of taking online digital relationships and bringing them in person. People who say that online digital relationships is not a good idea, I'm so sorry. Like, listening more to Brian Johnson, I've come to the conclusion that like you're pretty much killing yourself by denying yourself the possibilities of a deep love through the digital realm. And so I'm sorry, but like, you're gonna die off, honey. Like, it's survival of the fittest. So yeah, don't take what your elders, especially in this generation, because this generation being that AI is probably a really big like pivot as far as like, you know, he's, look at this guy. He's loving it. Just technology is impacting our society more than ever. I think more than thousands of years. So you a lot of people are gonna die a lot faster if they're not open and if they're not flexible in their mindset. If the more stern you are and you're more stuck in your ways as being the only way you are, you will die faster. So you have to be adaptable, and I think that's one of the main instincts that we have as like surviving. I'm gonna speak for myself. I personally I don't find guys interesting unless you're smart. So I will, even if you're good looking, I'm not interested. I will be interested as soon as I'm like, oh, he's smart. He can read my mind. He can read my thoughts. Yay. Right. So, and digital orbiting has a lot of that. So like, I think a man's love language isn't really so much what he says to you, but it's more so of what he notices about you, what he cares about you. And so, you know, him going out of his way to provide you with a, you know, health solution, him going out of his way to kind of subliminally let you know that he noticed something about you that other people don't notice is a love language. So that's very important to understand. It doesn't have to be so big, grand gestures for a man to show you his true love. So digital orbiting, although it's micro, is still impactful. And so I'm trying to think, because I do this already, I feel like the love interest that I have sees things that I post online, or, you know, my Instagram or my YouTube, and it kind of motivates him, and it motivates me to watch him grow, and it motivates me to see how we telepathically communicate with each other. And we already know, because of, you know, the technology that's coming about, is there is these devices that are now being made to help people telepathically communicate with each other. So this is just like the brick phone of it, which is you telepathically communicating with other people online by digitally orbiting with them. What is a digital orbit? For example, I will post a story, and in that story I say, I am sad, and then the other person that you like in that very minute, after watching it, let's say I am sad, and I put like a strawberry and like a blonde girl with ponytails or something, and then that person goes on their story, and they're watching your story through a third-party app so that they don't show up in your recently viewed your stories. They go on their story, and then you watch their story through a third-party app, and then they post, I am sad too, and there's a strawberry, and then there's a blonde girl with pigtails. Like, that's a digital orbit. They didn't go into your DMs and say, I'm sad too. They didn't show up on your recently viewed list and say, I am sad too. But you having posted that and then went on watching their YouTube's or their Instagram story without them knowing that none of you can officially prove that you watch each other's stories, because there's no trace of it, but you're telepathically communicating with each other that you're both sad, that somehow it's a blonde girl with pigtails and there's a strawberry in the corner. The strawberry is the stamp. The strawberry is the line of communication. So that is an example of a digital orbit. And it can happen with anybody. It doesn't have to be somebody who has millions of followers. It could be somebody who has like 10 followers on Instagram. You know, but the way to like drop the handkerchief, or for a man to like subtly flirt, would be to like a post or repost one of their posts on your stories, because it kind of like it gets them in your trajectory, gets them like to at least see that you are alive, that you are human, right? Digital orbiting. Digital orbiting. Yeah, I be doing some nerdy things. So anyway, I'm trying to think of ways that we could bring this into like the real world, as far as like how could we do that same digital telepathically communicating thing to like a smart house. So I was thinking maybe like how people have keys next to the exit of the house. There can also be like because like one of my favorite things is you sharing YouTube thoughts or sharing YouTube videos of other people that are saying the thing that I wish my partner to know that I like and that resonates with me. So one thing you could do is like categorize those top 3 things: the optimizer Karina, the social and family oriented Karina, and the ambitious Karina. All 3 having 3 different ideas, and have meeting a resolution with yourself before going to sleep, so that you know, okay, I know I have this huge business idea. Okay, I'm not gonna like lose sleep over this, but I'm gonna make a mental note that I want to get back to this tomorrow. I want to make a mental note for the social thing that I should have done this and this psychologically. And then the optimizing thing is I messed up on my morning routine, or I'm messing up on my nightly routine this week. Make a mental note that work about it tomorrow. Make it like an alarm clock for yourself to go back to that. I mean, I have like a million alarm clocks on my phone to remind myself of things. So one of the alarm clocks could be, for example, you know how like you have like a digital thermostat in your home. I mean, this is something that just like crossed my mind, but it's like an idea, like a copy and paste of your YouTube URL, a copy and paste of the YouTube video, the URL, copy and paste that into like a place in your home, like the digital thermostat of some sort. Paste it under the category that it's fulfilling, the category that represents the emotional current state that you're in, that whether or not your spouse is interested in looking at that, this is something that resonates with you. And if your partner is interested in, perhaps fixing a problem with you, or they're trying to find out where your mental state is at, where are you currently emotionally, they can go into the thermostat and scroll and be like, let me look at my wife's emotional state with social and family. Oh look, this week she posted and like set it up to where like on a weekly basis you have to update it, right? Your own URL, so that like the person, if they're interested in knowing where your emotional state is. My wife Karina posted a video with, I don't know, let's see, Teal Swan. Like Teal Swan said something on a YouTube video or something that Karina really wish it was a message that her partner understood about Karina, because Karina feels like this resonates with her emotional state right now, and this is where ideally she'd like to be. This is ideally how she'd like to manage this. And it's not like you're mind reading, but you're telepathically communicating that this is a mental frame of mind that you'd like to be in the pocket of currently in your emotional state. So I don't know, it's just an idea. I come up with stuff in my head all the time. I don't know. Because I'm like a little bit of a relationship snob. I'm a little bit of a digital snob. I'm a little bit of an optimizing snob. I'm like always shoving videos down my little sister's throat of things I think she needs to be doing. But then also it's just a mental reminder of myself that I need to be doing it too. So the action of sharing it is just like also like a mental reminder of, okay, well, you're sharing it, but are you actually doing it? But it's just like a helpful reminder. And if you really like this video and you think that my ideas are good ideas, hit follow, subscribe, and comment. This is The Modern Charm. This house belongs to my aunt and uncle. My fun fact: my aunt, I imprinted on my aunt the first 3 years because she was first 2 years of my bornness after I was born, because she was my primary caregiver. So like I feel like emotionally, sometimes I feel like I'm more attached to my aunt than I am to my mom, because my mom was a full-time working mother. She's very she's a hyper overachiever, and right now she's not like rich or anything like that, but like she's one of those moms that like she cannot see you not doing anything. Like if you're sitting down on the couch not doing something, she will go up in arms. She needs you to be doing something at all times. So I grew up like that, and so I'm thankful that I am very organized and that I'm very like emotionally, like I regulate emotionally, I think, a lot faster than other people. I don't know, but that's just how I feel about myself. I always positive vibes, always give a helping hand where it's needed. I'm always willing to do tasks that I'm given. I don't tend to meet tasks with resistance. The only person that I will meet that resistance towards is probably my mom, because it gets to the point where I'm like, now you're just telling me to do stuff because you're in the habit of telling me to do stuff, not because you want me to. I don't know. It's a whole mental warfare with that one. But anyways, yeah. So I will be at my aunt's house like a lot. And here is where I regulate. And yeah. So my uncle, he's from Texas, and so that's why you see the Texas Longhorn thing. And fun fact, I'm hard of hearing in my left ear, and so. Yeah, I think just what do you think? What do you think I should talk about on the video? So yeah, I love noticing things everywhere. Actually, I think I'm hard of hearing in both my ears, to be quite honest. Sometimes one side gets a lot more sensitive than the other. I don't know, like sometimes one will get really, really red, and sometimes I get this like fluttering like thing. Like it's the weirdest thing. I think tinnitus is what it's called, but I just say I'm going deaf, right? So I gravitate more towards images and things that I can see with my eyes, as opposed to what I can hear. So I know the importance of showing up and being physically verbal, I guess, non-verbal communication, body language. I know the importance of it, and I know how important that is to people, especially relationships. People that you love and admire, they want to see you doing good. They want to like check in to make sure you're good. And so this video is actually this video is towards the guy that I really like, and I want him to know that I am okay. I'm doing good. I'm doing better. This is a little cyber check-in. I mean, what else can I say? Just moving back from California, from LA, I learned a lot about myself, and I don't regret it. I feel like it's just so invaluable to step out of your comfort zone, your hometown. This is Howey in the Hills, Florida. You know, I think it's so invaluable to step out of your comfort zone, your hometown, and go and explore and see new things, meet new people, experience new relationship dynamics. I'm not talking about romantic relationship dynamics. I mean, like even like job dynamics. Like I come from a hospitality background. I for more than 6 years was an assistant to a nightclub promoter, and I worked in a restaurant called Eddie V's for the last 4 years as a hostess, and I have a bartending and serving background, but I prefer to be front of house. I prefer to have the first point of impression with guests and customers. I find that that's where I thrive more as like a party planner in some sense. And so like being the first person, the first interaction with somebody, being the first point of contact with pretty much anybody is very important to me. I just want to let them know that things are under control, things are good, and we have their best interests in mind. So in LA, I was a babysitter. Like that relationship dynamic was so different for me. And you know, I can in the future talk about how that was. James Sexton has a book called How to Stay in Love, and he does explain in one of the chapters the dynamic of having a babysitter is not really a good idea to have. And I went into babysitting already knowing that, but it's because I knew the repercussions that a family could have by having a babysitter, that I understood those dynamics, that I was able to navigate towards it successfully, so that, you know, I don't create any friction in the marital realm. Right, Apollo? Right? Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys like these ideas, and if you do like these ideas and my thoughts, please subscribe for more. Okay, bye.